say, oh, you need a 2/3 majority to...
That's what they keep saying.
Right. That's unconstitutional. What is constitutional is that the Constitution says that the legislature appoints the president. So if something gets in the Constitution, then it's unconstitutional.
Right.
So they need to simply disregard that which is unconstitutional, which is of a lower order of law,
Right.
and proceed to do what is constitutional.
How can we get them to do that?
You threaten them with being primaried out. Because I'm going to tell you one thing.
What does that actually technically mean?
That means
being primaried out.
Okay, before you're elected, you Republican compete against a Democrat. You're elected in your primary.
Right.
You're going up against some other Republicans.
Right.
And the incumbent could lose his seat.
Right.
In the primary.
Right.
If he's done something egregious, like not do his constitutional duty.
Okay.
So what needs to happen now is they need to be told or threatened that if they don't do their duty now,
All of our state representatives.
all the state reps and all the state senators will be primaried out if they don't do their constitutional duty now.
Do you hold a position?
No.
Okay. How do you know this?
It's very simple in the Constitution.
Right.
There's no precedent per se what I'm saying. I mean, yes, there have been times when no one reached 270. The last time that happened was in 1824 in the Jackson against Adams against Clay contest where machinations occurred and Quincy Adams got the spot, even though Jackson was popular. But that went to a vote in the House for the president. What I'm suggesting is the precursor step to that, which is having your legislature vote for the electoral slate of 11 electors that come from this state. That's what I'm suggesting. And it's very simplistic. And it's within the right to do so, because think about it. They're elected by the population. The population also elected a president. Unfortunately, that election was rife with fraud, as evidenced by today.
Right.
And so that needs to be tossed. And then in its place, the vote within Congress, within the House and the Senate of this state.
Right.
That's what needs to happen.
Right. Because that's actually what's in the Constitution.
That's in the Constitution very clearly.
Right.
In Article 2, Section 1, Paragraph 2.
Okay.
So
are you joining the people that are going to be camping out at the Capitol?
No, I'm going to go to Wisconsin and Michigan and try to do the same thing there.
Okay.
So if you could, just listen to what I said.
Right.
And go to the reps and go to the senators. The only thing reps and senators understand, by the way, is threats. Threats of being primaried. Because they then lose their cushy, cool job where they have all this esteem and greatness because they didn't perform.
Right.
They generally are cowards.
Can you primary state reps and state senators if they were not up for election in this particular year right here? Like if they're simply
the election for these guys is over. I'm talking about action that will occur in 2 years.
Right.
Or 4 years. I mean, depending on how your senators get reelected.
Right. 2 years from now.
2 years from now, all your reps are going to be reelected.
Right.
All those people you need to threaten.
With being primary then.
Then, exactly.
Oh, that's nothing. That's not a big threat.
Yeah, it is. They don't want to lose their job in 2 years.
How can we push them to do something now, threaten now?
No. It's going to take time to primary them out. And if there's a coalition of people and money working significantly against their interests in a primary, they're going to lose their job. And there are a lot of angry people.
We don't have much time.
You have no time. So they need to do this. They need to do that. Threaten them with primarying them out. That's the threat. That's the only leverage you have. You don't have any.
Seriously?
That's not bad leverage. These people want to keep their jobs.
Okay, so one of our representatives in our legislative district is not running again. So that kind of cancels her out. However,
then you say, look, I don't know what to say here. Then that's That's different.
different for that.
But that's
But
just
there are
one.
many. That's just one. There are many of them.
That are not running again.
No. I'm just saying
They
that's
are
just
running.
one. I'm just. It's just that I know. I just that those are the people I know.
You have it's a narrow.
in person.
You have a narrow majority, so you can't lose too many people. You don't want to be losing too many people. So that's your move. I don't know. You have to figure out other points of leverage. Figure
Yeah,
out.
but they have so much proof in there. I've been listening to the whole thing. They have so much proof. It's ridiculous.
You can say,
Yeah.
look,
Literally, the machine. They were putting in a Trump vote, and a Biden vote was
I
showing
know.
up.
So let me ask you this.
So yeah.
If our reps and senators suggest if there's nothing that they can do to get into session other than without a 2/3
why?
vote, okay, what is it that they can do? What is it they can do?
they can convene
Over there.
a session. They need to have a quorum.
The
And
legislature said
convene
they
a
could
session. They can do it anywhere. They don't have to meet in the state
Then
house.
we have
And
to
they
tell
were
They're
them.
not
wait for
allowed
their
in there or whatever.
constituents to come.
They can meet here. They can meet at a Starbucks.
Like all the Republicans that we have, say there's 16 or whatever,
Well,
Yeah.
they can
the
come
legislators
here
are
and they
here.
can just
So
meet,
they were gonna go
and
over
then
there,
what can they do?
call
And then they can
text,
vote.
and tell
Okay.
the people to come.
And then they can send whoever
No,
they
their
vote
people,
for
like the
Okay.
other ones.
to Congress.
Karen Fan, all
But it's
those
the Senate,
people
it's the
need to
senators
come
and
to
the
the Capitol
reps.
because they want to go
They have
get
to
to
meet,
work.
maybe separately or together or
Now
whatever.
they will
But they actually don't need
Yeah.
tonight.
to do the 2/3
That's what they're
vote
saying.
and be called into session.
Think about it.
Something happened.
If you have to have 2/3, and that keeps you from doing your constitutional duty, then that mandate is unconstitutional in this instance.
This is the kind of thing that I've been saying to my Republican chairman and also to my state senators. There has to be another way.
Yeah, that's the
because
way-
There's
the way-
no way that is
That's the way.
the only legal route that you have. Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's the way. Because nothing can stand in the way. And Pennsylvania also has some arcane rule, some 1937 rule that effectively keeps the legislature from certifying by vote. Whoever wins a popular, it's certified immediately. Well, if a popular was spoiled, then what do? Well, very simple. That's what you do. You convene and you vote. But there's a law that says they can't. And that law is unconstitutional because that's keeping something that's prescribed by the Constitution from happening when it needs to happen.
Right.
So it's unconstitutional, as is this quorum mandate. So they simply need to meet and vote, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah,
So simple.
Right.
our legislators need to go back to work. Period.
Like
That's
today,
it.
like tonight.
And they're going
Tonight.
tonight.
That's it.
And
Tonight.
they need to go tonight.
Yes.
They need
But we
to.
have to
They need to
gather
go
enough
get air
people
mattresses
to
and
make it
live in
matter.
their offices.
They're over there now. There's a lot of people over there.
At the Capitol right now. So somebody just called me at 6:10 and said that there was nobody. Did you get?
I just talked to someone who just got there.
Okay. Okay. So people must have just started funneling in.
Yeah.
So here's the
Because
question.
7:00 was
Right.
what they told
When are
everybody.
these people coming out? Because I want to look my state senator in the eye and be like, join us at the Capitol and call yourself back into session.
Right. Yeah, because did you see that piece of paper that had all of their numbers on there?
Yes.
On the front and the back?
Yes.
That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be calling them, texting them, like leaving messages, but a lot of them... Like,
Go to their house, get in their face, okay, and tell them, look, if you don't do this, we're going to primary you out. You need to do this. If you're not doing it and you're not concerned about being primarying you out, then we're going to do a forensic on all your accounts and see if you're somehow on the take here. Okay? That's another piece of leverage.
That's a good one.
Because if they're not doing this, then what's the reason that you're not doing
Right.
this? You know what I mean? Tell me, after all this evidence of fraud, and you don't do this, how's that reasonable? And if you're not scared about being primaried out, Mr. Representative, Mr. Senator, then you're on the take. You're taking money, and we'll do a forensic on you. That's what we'll do.
I like that.
Okay, so one more thing. We saw an email from Karen Fan, which is the president of the Senate, to her constituents back in April that said if we go back to work, then we lose the FEMA and the DEMA money.
You
So-
tell her FEMA and DEMA don't matter.
Exactly.
A hill of beans.
But
as
I
it
know,
relates
but
to
I'm
this.
just saying that's why they're not going back to work.
Right,
Because
that
then it
doesn't matter.
cancels the mandates, it cancels the COVID mandates, it cancels the mask mandates, it cancels everything if they go back to work.
Well, they can go back to work and not get paid. How about that?
Well, I know. I'm just saying. But
Tell
we have that
them
in
that's a
writing.
problem they can figure out
wait.
in a month.
How does it cancel all the mandates instantly if they go back to work? I mean,
That's what a special session does. Because they're not scheduled to go back until January. Because they gave Ducey all power.
right, the state. So it's only the a state of emergency that's allowing Ducey to do this, to do all the mandates and stuff, right?
You
Right.
And
Yeah, but that
Ducey's-
because he's full power.
this whole COVID nonsense.
It is
was it
ridiculous.
DNC CCP
I know,
conspiracy
absolutely.
I know.
to
Absolutely.
create the circumstance that we
Yeah.
find
I know.
ourselves in now.
Yep.
Right.
Correct. But
so-
but our governor is going, is behind it
Right.
because of the money supposedly coming.
Right.
He already
Because
sent our money to his company.
There's money going into his pocket.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
And
From
you
Dominion
can
and
you
the
can
other.
very easily do a forensic on him and every single family member,
Right.
every single one of his friends.
I guess what I'm not understanding that you said is that when our legislators go back into session, that it ends all of the mandates, basically.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that because we would be going back to normal and the state of emergency would no longer exist somehow? Is that what you're suggesting?
I don't think so. I was just told that in order for our anything to happen at all, they have to call a special session.
Right.
And if they call a special session, then the mandates end.
Okay, so I need to understand how the mandates end because they're calling a special session. That's what I'm trying to understand, because I have heard that before too.
Because the Ducey,
You can tell these legislatures that what is being referenced right now, this FEMA
Right.
money.
circumstance,
Yeah.
is a very small circumstance as it relates to the presidential election. It's very small relative to the presidential election. And so
Big
that's
time.
what you can tell your senator and your rep.
And the
Basically,
fraud.
If
And
you're
fraud.
if you're rep and your senator, if there's anyone that's holding out here, their entire family is going to be forensic. The time of Republicans being weak, that time is past.
Yeah.
And they'll be forensic. Not just them, but their entire
How do we get that to
family.
How do we get that to happen? How many people do we need to sign something or whatever to get this to happen?
Just get as many reps, Republican reps and senators together as you can. Have them call a forum and have them send a Republican slate for Trump. That's it. You don't have a majority. Just do the best you can and send the slate. If you convene a meeting, then all you need is a simple majority of that meeting to do this. You know what I mean? And so just get it done. Just convene a meeting, tell everyone by email so they know, hey, there's a meeting. Democrats, Republicans, everyone. And whoever shows up, shows up. And then you vote. And then you let them know. And by the way, the Democrats that are in districts that are starting to lean Republican, tell them that every nickel of extra money in the RNC is going to be spent to get rid of them. And not to mention the fact that things are changing here. We have a tipping point for blacks. Blacks are sick of the Democratic Party. They're coming out in droves. The exit poll was 12%. It's not 12%. It's more like 25%.
I know.
Blacks have had it.
I
Like,
know.
these people do nothing
And
for us.
Hispanics.
Hispanics are like, we've had it. They don't do anything for us. Nothing. And these are the guys with, the Hispanics are going to hate you because you're building a wall. No, they're not. If you're a legal
They love
person
Trump.
in this country, then you like the wall because people coming over the wall means that you have more competition for your job. Okay, it's bad for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, and so that's just what's going on. That's a fact.
Right.
People love Trump.
Yep. We've witnessed this.
And you're having it's interesting that I'm in Arizona talking about this because Barry Goldwater, in '64, he lost the presidential election against Johnson, but it was him and William F. Buckley that redefined the Republican Party to include all the elements of it that you know now. But Trump redefined it himself and was a political actor that got elected, not elected like Barry Goldwater.
Right.
In one man. He's a policymaker and the political executor.
Right.
He did that himself.
Right.
And he's redefining the Republican Party to include lots of other people. He's gutting the Democratic Party, not because he's competing against them, because the Democratic Party disregarded their core constituency of labor.
Right.
They just disregarded them. They're more interested in illegal aliens. They're more interested in foreigners than they are domestic people that are Americans.
Right.
So that's the deal. Everything is changing, and if these people don't get on board with that, then they're telling them they're going to lose their spots in Congress. They will be forensicked.
That's a good one.
But not just them. They're in family.
Forensic.
Biden could be forensic. He'd probably come up clean because his entire family's been enriched by being on the take from the CCP.
Right.
And the Russians and the
Right.
Ukrainians and God knows who else.
Yes, exactly.
He basically sold the Crimea to Russia.
Yes.
That's what he did
Right.
Wow.
when he was the vice president. That's why the Russians invaded. He gave them political cover in the U.S. to invade. So effectively what he did was he took a lot of money
Right.
to sell a section of Ukraine
Yes.
to Russia.
Yes.
That's what he did.
I know.
And so, but all that money went to his son, his other son,
Right.
his all of his family members.
Yes.
And so, you tell these reps, we're going to forensic you, but also your family, your friends, everybody. Because someone's on the take here.
So we
If
just
you
need a
don't, if
large
you
enough
don't
group
do
of
what is
people.
normal, then there's something not right about you.
This is not just normal. This is emergency.
Right.
Look
So-
how much fraud.
And so you tell those reps, if they don't get in line and do what they're constitutionally supposed to do.
What is the article Constitution? Show it again.
So
please.
the article in the Constitution, it's Article
2.
Can you
Article-
text this information to me?
I'm actually articulating something right now that I'm sending over to the fellow that runs Stop a Steal. So this is it. Take a picture. Article 2, Section 1, Paragraph 2 of the U.S. Constitution, which trumps any other document.
You got it?
Yep.
So that's what you do. So just threaten. All you can do is cajole and threaten, because that's what people generally need to have happen.
Exactly.
To have them do something.
We were told we were planning on going to Deuce's house tonight, but we were told that there's some kind of law that protects him.
Protects them
and
from what?
I don't know, but we were told that we can't go there to his house.
So you're
There's an Arizona
your right
law
of assembly is being somehow abridged.
in front of his house.
Because it's private property.
Right. But the
Well,
street
no,
isn't.
but the street isn't.
The street
I
is
know,
not private
but,
property.
I know,
The
but
gate
it's
is,
still.
He lives in a gated community.
We hear that he does. We don't know.
hear
We haven't been by.
You can see the house from the gate, but it's like pretty far.
Then go outside the gate.
I know,
And don't
but
leave.
we were also told that we can't do that either.
Why?
Because even Stop the Steal, the guy that's from Stop the Steal said we can't go because we'll all be arrested.
I think we have to look into that more deeply because I don't know that that's true, although a police officer did suggest that that was true.
we have a lawyer?
Because there's some kind of Arizona
we-
law.
do we have
We
a
do.
lawyer?
We,
Do you
we
know
need a
any
lawyer
lawyers?
here.
We need a lawyer.
Tell you what you can do or can't do.
Yeah. And to just have us cover back.
We need lawyers in Arizona that are willing to work with us because I don't know why they're requiring $25,000 retainments because I don't know what they think is going to happen to their future and their kids' future if they don't do some things pro bono. It's not about money.
Yep.
It's not
It's
about
about their
money.
future.
It's about freedom.
They
It's
will
about
never
freedom.
be free. They are the endangerment to themselves and us.
Yeah.
Those people. They don't know what
Yeah.
thare doing.
We need lawyers
So where are you from?
Slovenia. Melania Trump.
Melania.
Melania Trump town.
Melania Trumptown. It's the most successful of the Iron Curtains
Yes.
on a per capita basis.
If I text you, can you text me a brief synopsis because my brain is overloaded.
Yeah,